So pet loss. Yes, it's traumatic. I'll be talking about her bonded pair that we lost 6 months ago. And it was very traumatic. And I want people to know this so you don't make the same mistakes I made. And that really, Santa, yes, we called our dog Santa, that really, you know, cost him a lot of distress, and I don't want that to ever happen to any other animal, be it a parrot or cat or dog. It was horrendous, and it was very traumatic, and it was heartbreaking. Anyway, this is Bella. She's 13. She's got her own issues. You won't see her in many videos. As I say, she's got her own issues, but you know, we feel she aged a lot through Santa's passing and how distressing it was for her. And in hindsight, I wouldn't have taken her. But as I say, you know, you live and learn, and I want everyone to learn this really. So who was Santa? Well, Santa was a Scotty dog. He was called Santa because he was born on Christmas Day, and he had a white beard, which Scotties are not supposed to have. So that's how we ended up with him, because he had a crooked tail and a white beard, and he was the runt as well. He had to be hand fed. His mum didn't like him, but we loved him. He was the most beautiful, loving family pet. But he was a Scottie, and he was a sausage, let me tell you. If he got out, well, the local population of chicken or birds would not be safe. And he'd frequently, if he got out in the early days, come back with his feathers in his beard and looking at it as if to say, oh, I didn't do anything. But he'd always come back. You know, he'd go on his little jaunt. But anyway, so we had to sort of re-fence the whole garden because of him. But he was, oh, what a character. He was forever digging holes. I was forever planting flowers. And he was forever digging them back. But anyway, what happened? Well, he got old. He was 13 as well, which is quite good for a Scottie. We had him from a puppy, as we've had this one from a puppy. Do you want to go, sweetheart? There you go, darling. And yes, we had them both from puppies. I'd always had rescue dogs before, and I had young children. None of the local rescue centres would let us have dogs. So, and I'd always wanted to experience what it was like with a puppy, having dogs all my life, but never having puppies. So we had them from puppies. And as I say, he was the runt, so that's how we ended up with him. And Bella, we just got for company, because I just think they keep each other company when you're not about. But anyway, yes, he got very poorly. His kidneys and livers were failing him. He had a lot of arthritis in his joints, and he was really struggling. In the last couple of weeks, he really went down. Now, some people may not agree with this, but when the time came, we chose that we didn't want him to suffer. He had been such a beautiful dog, and it was heartbreaking, and we had a lot of tears and a lot of arguments about it, because obviously some did, some didn't. But I didn't want him to suffer, and so we made a decision to take him to the vet, to put him down. Now, I've unfortunately had to put a few pets down in my life, and it's horrible. I had a goldfish I'd had for 3 years when I was living on my own, and he was brilliant company. I used to wash him for hours. Bit weird, but I know. He was failing. I took him to the vet. I know it's novel, but I did. And yeah, and sadly I had to let go of him. So it's always horrible when you lose any sort of animal, you know. And anyway, so I'd phoned the vet. We'd had the same vet from the year dot, and said, look, you know, we're bringing him in. They knew Santa anyway, so they were like, yeah, it's fine, you know, it's time. So we agreed that they would come out to the car and the car boot and put him down out there, save him any additional stress, because he didn't like the vet, you know. He thought the vet was like a postie, you know, there for chasing and biting. So, you know, we didn't want anyone hurt. So we did all the paperwork inside. We took Santa on a last sort of hobbly walk, which was really tough to see, but he tried, he did his best. But he hadn't eaten for several days. Well, he had drank, but not a lot, and he couldn't go to the toilet or anything like that. So the time was now Took him to the vet, had a lovely last walk with him, had all the family around him. The vets came out, gave the sleeping drug to him, and it was all very serene. And they said nod when the kill shot, and they gave him the kill shot. And we were obviously all crying, all blubbing, all devastated, still all talking to him, because I'm a firm believer that the spirit stays behind a bit longer. But then he woke up and he started writhing about. Clearly it was really stinging him what they'd put in him. And we were all hysterical. The vet was like, oh my God, and running back into the vets to get more sleeping and everything. And my husband and daughter were having to hold him down. I was hysterical. The vets came out, an additional vet, and quickly put in another sleeping medication. And he went to sleep. And I said, look, I don't care what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, do it now. If you need to take him into the actual vets, as long as you can tell me 100% he's asleep, you know, do that. And they said, yep, 100%. He's had enough to drop an elephant. And so my daughter wanted to carry him into the vet. So my daughter picked him up, and he sticks up his head and starts to look around. Well, that was it. You know, we were practically on the floor. By that stage, we were so hysterical, we just couldn't talk. We got him into the vet, and they gave him the kill shot quite quickly after that, because it was a bit dozy, but it was a bit more serene how it should have been. So why am I telling this story? Well, I don't want it to happen to anyone else. They had his weight on file and everything, so they knew how much medication to give them. What I will say is, if you're going to do this, then please say to your vet, this has happened to someone else I know. You know, please make sure there is enough sleeping medication first and foremost, and enough of what I call the kill shot. You know, we're taking these decisions for our pets because we think it's for the best of them. It wasn't for the best of Santa. He had a horrible ending. He didn't deserve that. I look back with horror. My family looks back with horror. My other dog was there. I've never heard another dog screech like my dog was screeching. And as I say, in hindsight, we shouldn't have taken her. And we feel it has aged her several years, even though she's 13. So where does that leave us? Well, everyone says, oh, when are you going to get another animal? And please don't say that to us. We don't want another animal. Not yet. Let us grieve. 6 months down the line, still heartbreaking. But yes, one day, we're not going to replace them. We're middle-aged now, but we'll probably, I don't know, help out a rescue centre or something like that. But anyway, I'm not going to say at the end of this video, please like, no, because I don't think there's anything to like about this. It was horrible. Some people will think, well, you deserve that, you made a horrible decision. But I made the best decision for something I really, really loved. And I would do the same, not just for an animal, but for a human being as well. But if you're interested in midlife things, if you're interested in just really the roller coaster of life, then please subscribe, but also comment. You know, have you gone through the same thing? You know, how would you have done it? We will certainly think differently. I'm looking into, when her time comes, hopefully she'll do it naturally, but if she doesn't, because as I say, she's got issues with her breathing and everything, then we may invite someone to the house and do it that way. But anyway, not a happy video, but thank you for watching. That's far, and this is for Santa.